It's a thermal special. First up, an air rifle combo. So accurate, Terry Doe is ratting and mousing with the latest thermal gear.
Ratus giganticus, there he lies.
Forget ice cubes and blowtorches. Paul Childerley tests the new military-developed Therm-X targets on his range.
Back with the old, in with the new.
James Head talks about airguns. David has the news on the new stump, and James brings you the best YouTube hunting films in this week's Hunting YouTube. Welcome to Fieldsports Britain.
Keep still.
Let's use the universal rat measuring device of the boot. Yes, he's all there, isn't he?
Terry's been pacing, impatient for another go at the rats at the Fancy Fowl Centre.
I'm pacing out, and guess what you just made me do? Lose count. Thank you.
Take two.
This is old school range finding.
So, what is different about this evening's ratting? Well, Terry has been on a technological journey. After finally embracing the digital world, he now needs to work out what works best when.
Connect the air supply. Right, we're back under the flight path of Heathrow, protecting a load of chickens. Now, since we've been gone, for some reason or other, the rats appear to have been trained in the use of earth-moving machinery here. Look at this. I mean, it's ridiculous. So I've got a triple purpose for tonight's visit. First one is to get rid of some of the creatures that are doing that sort of damage. Two more missions. One is to get rid of the techno-fear that surrounds gear like this. This is the Tube TL35 SE thermal scope, okay? It's just another piece of optical equipment. That's all it is. Look at the design of it. Just like an ordinary scope, nothing different. Magnification, focusing, all the same as you'd get on any other scope. The only real difference is it's controlled by a turret, and that's as simple as it gets. All single controls. We'll get into that a bit later. My third mission is to decide, by answering the questions we got from the last film, what would I recommend? One of these thermals or a day-night scope. Remember, we used the Tube TD70 last time, did very well with it, and people want to know, what should I get? Should I get a day-night scope or should I get a thermal? And by the end of it, I'll give my verdict at the end. I'll give my absolute honest opinion. But for now, I need to get set up and get in position to do some damage to the rats that are doing so much damage to this place.
He's fresh from ratting at a grain store. It was a warm-up for tonight's action.
Just to familiarise myself with the new thermal scope, I went to another location, which is an entirely different place. I was tasked to shoot mice with it. Mice. Now, you think hitting a rat can be a little bit tricky. You try hitting a mice, or even a mouse. Yeah. So I'm used to the scope. I got used to it in one trip, no problem at all. It's easy to use. Really, really easy, really effective.
Again, Terry and David have help from Dan Chart this evening, the Debbie McGee of the airgun ratting world.
This has made me addicted to thermal. I will not go on any hunting trip, day or night, without one of these and one of these.
Oh, there's another big one coming from the right, Terry.
One of the features Terry enjoys with the scope is the ability to swap between preloaded points of impact.
How many yards was it? Do you remember?
24. And by no coincidence whatsoever, one of my three, count them, three zeroing modes is 25 yards. So again, dead easy. If I want close ones to shoot up there, I switch from profile A to profile B, which I cleverly zeroed at 12 yards, which is what that is up there. It's so easy to do once you know how to explore one of these.
Before we settle down, Tel has a quick tip to ensure clean shooting.
Here's a top tip for everybody. See these things? Freezer bags. Absolutely brilliant. Put your mag in there, stops any sort of grit or muck getting in there. You've got to understand with the pre-charged pneumatic, it only takes a couple of particles of grit to get between the valve and the valve face to cause a leak or a complete shutdown, a complete drain down. So for the sake of a small freezer bag, absolutely brilliant.
There are
Struggling
heat
now.
signatures everywhere.
A headshot would be good.
And there's a definite difference in body size between a rat and a mouse.
That's the end of that mouse. See?
Oh crikey, there's a big one. God, blimey, that was a big one.
He's climbing. He's climbing. He's falling. He's falling.
When he shoots a rat under some sheeting, our little friend has got himself tied in knots.
He's wedged. What?
That's it.
You're not going to believe this, but he's firmly stuck. That leg, look, please everybody, that leg is, right, the only way to do that, I certainly can't pull him back through from there, can I? I've got to somehow feed, well, I've fed a leg through now. I might have this one made into a vest, or 2 pairs of trousers according to the size of it. No way will that come out. Right, Dan. Aha! Hey! We have achieved! Rattus giganticus. There he lays.
Weirdly, having not seen a single mouse in the house on our last visit, there are lots this time around.
We seem to have been invaded by mice. Can you believe it? Normally, you don't get too many mice with rats because rats do like to scoff them.
Another monster rat provides another difficult retrieve, and Terry may have to upgrade his grabber's grip.
What is it with these retrieves? A nightmare. Look at this. Now I've got a rat here that's like a capybara. I've got to somehow. There you go. There we go. Oh look, fine headshot.
After a pleasant couple of hours, we have made a dent in the rodents, and Terry has an answer to the question he posed at the start.
Yeah. I'm not sitting on the fence, I'm really not. But it depends entirely on the shooting you do. If I were to do this ratting like this all the time, then undoubtedly a thermal. Without a doubt, there'd be a thermal. But if I want to do some hide shooting, or maybe a bit of rabbiting as well in the meantime, then that would be day-night scope. There's an even bigger discovery that I've made since I've been doing this, and that is the importance of that. Okay, this is the EH35 from Infrared. I do not go hunting at any time of the day or night without it. I would rather leave the rifle behind for one day of a 2-day trip than to leave the thermal spotter. It saves you so much time, it's so efficient. So my decision would be, think hard about whether you want a thermal scope or a day-night one. You can definitely use both, especially these infrared ones. You can use them, they're not that complicated. But my priority would be definitely get yourself a thermal spotter.
So there you have it. Tell's gone tech. Who'd have thought it? And there's nothing we can do to stop it. To infinity and beyond. If you're suffering from the same incurable condition, then head over to infirayuk.co.uk, where some retail therapy is all we can prescribe. Thanks, Terry. Now, in this week's Fieldsports Extra, we have a man with a super new chair and an unwelcome visitor. Also in Fieldsports Extra, we are giving away the orthopaedic chair, priced at £125 that man from justoneseat.com was talking about, specially designed for shooters, which I picked up at the British Shooting Show. Link to it below. Easiest way to win it is to watch Fieldsports Extra, which goes out the night before this show, only to Fieldsports members. Easiest way to watch Fieldsports Extra is to join those members. The Fieldsports Nation will send you a goodie box. Link to that below too. Next, from a comfortable seat to a bumpy stump, it's David on the Fieldsports Channel News Stump.
This is Fieldsports Channel News. Rishi Sunak's government is under attack over a Labour backbencher's plans to ban trophy imports. Foreign governments are preparing to lobby Westminster, with a global coalition joining forces. Organisations including the Botswana Wildlife Producers Association have accused UK politicians of failing to understand the complex relationship between hunting, conservation and the livelihoods of local populations in Africa. Parliament will debate its latest anti-hunting tourism legislation on the 18th of March 2024. Last year, African nations described the move towards banning trophy imports as a racist and colonial attack. Many of their economies depend on income from hunting tourism. A survey of 4,000 people in countries including South Africa, Botswana and Zimbabwe found British politicians were guilty of ignorant virtue signalling over the celebrity-backed trophy import ban. Chris Packham has lent support to hunt sabs. The BBC TV presenter has given online support to both animal aid and hunt saboteurs. This week he praised the action of a group disrupting a legal hunt in the Mendips. He also posed for social media photographs with group members who were wearing menacing black face coverings. In 2020, Animal Aid and Hunt saboteurs both appeared in a counter-terrorist guide issued by police and used across England as part of training for Prevent, the anti-radicalisation scheme designed to catch those at risk of committing terrorist violence, according to a report in The Guardian. Angry farmers and gamekeepers have hit back against their landlords with a damning report. Called United Utilities at Haweswater, the document examines failures by landowners, United Utilities and Lowther Estates, and their consultant, the RSPB. It details how the landowners are driving tenant farmers out of business, how their tree planting schemes are failing, with trees dying and hundreds of thousands of plastic sleeves left littering moorland. It predicts major wildfires from the landowners' removal of sheep and refusal to create fire breaks. United Utilities responds, saying it doesn't recognise the report and adds that it has won awards for its Haweswater partnership with the RSPB. To read the report, visit the link below. Basque is celebrating a legal victory after a court overturned an incorrect police decision to revoke a member's firearms licence. Not only did the court find in favour of the Basque member, it also ordered Cheshire Police to pay compensation. Basque's fighting fund paid for the court case.
Not only did he win the appeal, but also the judge made a costs order against the police for £4,000. That's almost unheard of, and it clearly shows that the police had not behaved very well. And all that is down to our fighting fund being able to secure this.
The riverkeepers who caught Southern Water dumping raw sewage into the River Test say the water company is doing it again. Brothers Phil and Nick Parker carried out kick sample testing on a stretch of the Hampshire River last week and filmed it. They compared samples from an area near an outfall pipe at a pumping station with samples of invertebrates from the opposite side of the river. They found raw effluent in the pump side sample. The keepers are holding a protest next week to persuade the water company to take action and stop the pollution. You can see the whole film on Phil and Nick's investigation in the link below. Dog trainer Emma Bamford believes her victory in the gamekeepers class at Crufts is a wider celebration of country sports. Her 4-year-old Labrador Tweed won his class in the Basque Arena, beating off stiff competition from other working dogs to take the prestigious title. While a Show Weimaraner won the gun dog classes in the main event at Crufts, dogs in the gamekeepers class have to be genuine working stock used regularly on shoots. Emma's dogs work on an estate where her husband Nathan is a gamekeeper near Inverness.
To take that dog who's never shown before, who's just a great example of a working dog with a great temperament, and actually go and win against phenomenal dogs was just amazing. Honestly, I'm not often speechless, but it was absolutely amazing.
Browning shooter Sam Green has been crowned Clay Shooter of the Year. Sam had a phenomenal 2023, winning the World English Sporting Championship at EJ Churchill in July. He then topped off the season with the British Open Sporting title in September, all with his Browning 525 Crown shotgun. He received his award in front of 200 guests at the 13th annual CPSA Awards dinner, where the association also recognised its top junior shooters, ladies coaches, shooting grounds and more.
It's the first time I've been nominated, first time winning it. Yeah, it's fantastic.
The famous Beedale hunt in North Yorkshire features in a new documentary made by a German TV company. Exploring the relationship between humans and their dogs, the film follows the 200-year-old hunt through 2 days of working life. The film captures life at kennels, the care hunt staff take of hounds, and it explores the bonds formed by huntsmen and their hounds. There's a link to the YouTube version below. A youngster who's been small bore target shooting for less than a year has scored a perfect 100. 11-year-old Aidan Thurlow made the score at Forfar and District Small Bore Rifle Club in Angus. he learned to shoot on his family's farm and hopes to shoot for Scotland one day. And finally, 2 pieces of history. First, a set of silver buttons from legendary hunter John Peel is up for auction. There are 7 buttons in the set dating back to the 18th century. Auctioneers Chorleys of Gloucestershire believe the buttons could fetch £5,000 when they go under the hammer. They contain scenes of 7 of Peel's famous pack of hounds. Now, if you're a history buff, you'll know Peel, among other things, is the famous subject of the folk song, Dear Ken John Peel. Bringing me on to the second piece of history in tonight's show, a rendition of that very song, brought to us all by our own resident ukulele soloist. Some of you may want to look away now.
Do you ken John Peel with his coat so grey, though in some versions that's gay? Do you ken John Peel at the break of day? Do you ken John Peel when he's far, far away with his hounds and his horn? In the morning, for the sound of his horn brought me from my bed, and the cry of the hounds which he off town led. Peel's view, halloo, could awaken the dead, or the fox from his lair in the morning. Better with a northern voice, I think.
Or no voice at all. You are now up to date with Fieldsports Channel News. Stalking the stories, fishing for facts.
Thank you, David. And David has asked me to make several requests from you this week. Like, subscribe, or both of those under this film. Also, in a gap in the south of England's record-breaking wet weather, he filmed Andy Crow for new YouTube channel Farming Britain. Crowman tells David he needs super expensive rubber to stay afloat.
About 22 grand.
What?
Tyres and rims.
What?
About 22 grand.
Thanks, Andy. Next, how do you zero a thermal scope in the dark? The answer, according to Paul, is hot targets.
A collection of woodland creatures warming themselves in front of the fire. A nice shot, but completely unnecessary because, like the animals they represent, these steel targets generate their own body heat. At the back of each target is a battery which warms the whole target, generating a clear silhouette when viewed through a thermal.
So no ice cubes, no candles, no
Heat
lighters.
pads, blowtorches. Out with the old, in with the new. Quick and easy. You can keep it on the range, bring the battery down, connect it up, bang, you're away.
We're at Paul Childerley's range in Bedfordshire to test these new Therm-X targets. The promise is they will speed up your thermal target zeroing and give you confidence shooting with a thermal device at live quarry at night.
If you missed the ice cube, or you missed the hot bolt,
There's nothing.
you had no idea where it was going.
There's no reference to basically to click it away to. So yeah, so you can actually move the reticle cost for the impact. So you will go back to one shot zero again, which is absolutely perfect, especially when you've got minimal time, late at night, and you want that in your head that you're spot on.
The concept has migrated across from military target development. Jade is one of the team now bringing Therm-X targets to the consumer market.
Where's this idea sprung from?
So Safe Shot Firearms and Training, they've been developing it for the last 6 years with the military.
Okay.
So the thing about these is that you've got that consistent heat for up to 3 hours, and that's what really makes the difference. You're not mucking around with all of the different pieces and running backwards and forwards.
Yeah, the speed,
Like, you're trying to make the most of your time shooting, and that's what these allow you to do, is to make the most of it and do what you want to do, which is train.
Yeah, oh definitely, and zero before you go out, or just reassure yourself that you're on song with the rifle and the kit.
Exactly.
As well as a range of animal targets, there's also a zeroing target.
This is the stuff that Special Forces, NATO use at the moment, and so bringing it out to, it's just accessible for all shooters of all levels, which is amazing.
Yeah, it's actually quite nice. Actually, it's warm my hands up.
To help demo the unit, Paul is going to use his Zeiss thermal gear, which his keepers use to stay on top of those foxes.
Got the DTC clip-on Zeiss, and got DTI as well, which I use a lot. I use that a lot, to be fair, with deer counting, poacher patrol, checking to see if Sam's up in the morning, all those sort of things, or out foxing. Sam has used this a lot. He it is brilliant for him because he can just go stalking in the evening and then go straight out foxing afterwards, no zero, and it's just clipped straight on and it's the same zero. So he's basically prized it out of my hand, so I haven't seen it for about 2 months.
Okay. Is it on?
On his rifle, but we'll have to cut the shots. That's the whole point of the zeroing, David. We're going to have the zeroing target and we're going to zero it to this one shot zero. So with the app, so yeah, it should be good. They're clear, very clear. So first shot on the zeroing target, struck about 3 inches, yeah, good 3 inches low, in line, take another shot and yeah, go from there.
How warm does it feel?
It's good. The cold day is brilliant actually, it's really, really warm, yeah. And I reckon 3 hour battery life on it, so yeah, probably give you 4 because that'll still be warm going forward. So yeah, pretty good.
To zero the Zeiss DTC, Paul uses the app. However, the traditional X and Y axis method is still available within the unit.
Quite straightforward.
Yeah, it is actually really straightforward. Once you got into the profile, clip on zero in, apply, and then just adjust it to what measurements you do on the target. So it actually is a real simple app to use, and also you can use it for 3 or 4 different scopes as well. So you've got different profiles on there, so that makes it really easy. But yeah, most people have one foxing rifle and one deer stalking rifle, so you know it's not rocket science. One thing I will say is just remember that this stays on the rifle and you attach it to the front end and on.
The 2-piece Zeiss adapter allows an easy and fast mount and dismount of the DTC while ensuring that you keep your zero. They recommend keeping the adapter ring on your scope as it ensures your crosshairs always remain plumb.
I've got a problem, Fox. He's about to go and eat a muntjac at the range, I see. Okay, right.
Still a problem?
He's dead a problem. I'll make sure. I'll do another one.
The clip-on doesn't record video. Paul's Zeiss DTI does, so we can see just how clear the targets appear through thermal gear.
So we're right back at 200 now, so just to see how clear it is, and have a couple of shots in this distance and see how we go. And one more for luck. Very good.
As these are pre-production prototypes, the heat is not reaching the edges of the target. The commercially available units on sale now spread the heat all across the target. Paul is satisfied the targets represent a no-fuss solution to gaining confidence when shooting at night with the latest thermal gear.
It's about knowing your equipment, and when it's pitch black at night, you've got to know all your buttons, all your dials, know what your kit can do. And this is actually brilliant because you can get it all set up in the daytime, you can look at your kit, look at your app, go through everything, get it all right, get used to using it, get your strikes, then do some nighttime zeroing. And so yes, you've got the daytime and nighttime, so yeah, fantastic bit of kit.
And training courses are available.
And training courses are available at Childerley.com. Come on, let's go.
To find out more about the Therm-X range of targets, go to thermxtargets.com. For the Zeiss range of thermal spotters and thermal clip-ons, go to zeiss.co.uk/DTC.
Thanks, Paul. Now, among the merry band of freedom fighters who work to produce Fieldsports Britain each week is Dan Chart, who's not just a sales exec at what the Daily Mail accidentally called the highly profitable Fieldsports channel, not just a sponsored angler, he is a charity fundraiser. This is one for his fellow carp anglers. He's raffling the complete Spiro black camo range, including reel pouches, rig tray and stash bags, with a total retail price of nearly £450. Tickets are £2 each, and there's a link to the online raffle below, which ends on the 13th of April 2024. It's all part of Dan's fundraising as he runs the London Marathon in April. Next up, it's James Head from Devon-based online airgun shop Crackshot.
Today I have come to Crackshot to learn about PCPs for under £400.
We've got a couple of guns under the £400 mark, which will obviously keep your budget below that £1,000, even if you add an air source to those 2 guns. We can get cheap PCPs for the around the £100 mark. We do steer clear of them. They're never reliable enough. or hold air long enough to even get to shoot them. So we try to steer clear of those rifles, stick to something much better quality. And I think you're getting a lot more sort of bang for your buck when you're around the sort of £400 mark. You can't have a gun that you haven't got the confidence in. You've got to have confidence in whatever you're buying. You've got to be able to get it out of the bag. You've got to be able to shoot it, and it's got to hold air. It's got to be reliable. And like I said, more importantly, confidence is the most important thing with anything. So the first gun we've got is this Gammo GX240. So it's a PCP air rifle. Built in, well, we've got a silencer that comes with the gun, and it also comes with a sight as well. So for all this, for the £400 mark, all you need to add is your air source. If you don't want to do that, you can always bring it back to fill it, but you can be shooting accurately, very quickly, for £400. It's not got a regulator or anything like that. The action isn't the smoothest action in the world. Where they're sort of hiding their money is in the weight. There is a little bit heavier than other guns. Cheaper guns tend to use slightly cheaper materials, but you have still got that accuracy and the reliability from it being a partner of BSA. You've still got a gauge at the front, which is very helpful. However, you just haven't got that pressure regulator to make sure every shot is consistent throughout the whole charge. However, once you've worked out your sweet spot, somewhere probably around the 190 bar mark, down to about 100 bar, you're going to be getting at least sort of 50 really consistent, accurate shots. I'd happily take one out, especially if I was just doing a bit of farmyard pest control. I'd be more than happy to take that out and use that myself. We've also got the Therm-X Lyra. So this is a Turkish offering of the sort of cheaper guns. So you don't get everything that you did with the Gammo, so you don't get a silencer, you don't get a scope. However, you've got all the options to be able to put your different scopes on, and you've also got a thread at the front should you want to add a silencer. So once you've added up the package, it will be a little bit more, but you do get a slightly bit more gun. You do get a walnut stock. You've still got the gauge at the front, and these are also regulated. Both £399.
Which would you choose?
I think I'd go for the Therm-X. Even though I don't get the scope or the silencer as a brand as an option as standard, I think for the fit and the feel, this is the one I like the most.
For Crackshot's full range, go to crackshot.uk.
Thanks, James. Now from airguns to the wider world of hunting and shooting on YouTube, brought to you by James Marchington. It's Hunting YouTube.
I've been scouring YouTube for the best of the latest hunting and shooting videos, and here's what caught my eye this week. First up, Mountain Sport Airguns heads into the wilderness for a camping adventure, hunting jackrabbits and testing some pre-charged airguns and gear in real field conditions. Meanwhile, in the UK, Corvid Hunter has been concentrating on squirrels and magpies lately, and while his back's turned, the rats have been multiplying. He's at them with his air rifle with the aid of a trail camera so he can see when they appear. Christopher Clausen is after foxes in the snow in Norway, using a variety of baits and calls to bring them into the range of his rifle. Plus there's a section on bolting them from hay bales with terriers. Over to Texas, where the Safari Film Company is hunting quail in the traditional way, walking up the scrubland and shooting them over pointers. Bobby Guy is decoying geese in the snow with a group of youngsters. It's a spectacular session with huge numbers of birds, which is bound to inspire the next generation of hunters. Back to Blighty, and Gwyn from DJ Decoys is roost shooting pigeons with Paul Moore, using a hide set up among the trees. They work hard for a modest bag of around 20. Stalking, and Peter Jones takes out nutritionist and pregnant mum Frankie, who's completed her level 1 theory and now wants practical experience so she can bring back some venison for her growing family. Finally this week, here's a poignant film from the Game and Wildlife Conservation Trust, who are asking for funds to support their Action for Curlew appeal before it's too late for this iconic species. Well, that's it for this week. I've put all these films into a playlist for you. Click on the eye symbol top right or check this film's description. If you have a YouTube film you'd like us to pop into the weekly top 8, email me the link, jamesm@fieldsportschannel.tv.
And that's it for this week. If you haven't done so already, please whiz over to our website, fieldsportschannel.tv. You can click to like us there on Facebook and on Instagram. You can follow us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, pop your email address into our register page, and we'll contact you about this show. Fieldsports Britain. It's out at 7 p.m. UK time every Wednesday, and this has been Fieldsports Britain. Good hunting, good shooting, good fishing, and goodbye.